What's up guys, I'm BTC. A brand new update on the PTR brought a couple of balance changes, but it seems like it might also bring with it a leak for the upcoming Archive event. What you're looking at right now is the live version of the Paris map. As you can very clearly tell, it is a daytime map. There's lots of bright light all over the place. Even though there's shadows, they're daytime shadows, so they may not be in direct sunlight, but there's enough light bouncing around that it still kind of brightens up even those corners. The sun isn't directly overhead, but it's kind of close, so I'd say maybe it's late morning, early afternoon. The sky is a bright blue. It's very clear that everything about this is a daytime, bright and sunny map. And then this is the PTR version. You can see there are some very dark areas with shadows. This is unlike anything else in the game. Even Dorado and King's Row, those darkest alleyways are still quite well lit up. I'll show you some comparisons later on. Also, the lamps on the walls are broken. They're shining light against the wall, but it's not against the ground like it should be. Again, I have some other comparisons. But once you go inside, everything is completely brightened up like it should be on the live version of the game. So it doesn't seem like it's not a map-wide, oh, everything got accidentally darkened, so, you know, that's some sort of a bug or something like that. I mean, it's entirely possible that there could be a bug that's only affecting the external light, but, I mean, if you look at this, it does seem deliberate. And when you go into all the other buildings, the lighting seems just the same, so it's only that outside part that is affected by this. Let me show you some of those comparisons I was talking about. You have this section right here, which is incredibly dark, and again, the lamps don't seem to quite be working. They are not putting the light where they're supposed to. Compare that to King's Row. This is one of the darkest areas in the entire map, and it is still far, far brighter than any of those spots on the Paris map. So why would they have such dark areas on the Paris map? It doesn't make any sense, particularly from a gameplay perspective, because the maps need to be lit up well enough so that you can see the enemy players. Yes, I know there's outlines and all that sort of stuff, but you don't want to have these areas where it all of a sudden becomes fairly difficult to see what's going on. Like, all you're going to end up seeing is outlines just kind of moving around, and it's going to be difficult to tell who's who and where's everything's going on and all that sort of stuff. So even the dark areas of the other maps, the nighttime maps, all the little caverns and alleyways, even those are very lit up. The only time we've seen these really dark areas were in the archive maps, and that's because you're not playing against other players, you're going against computer-controlled enemies, and having those dark areas kind of adds to the whole ambiance and the effect of the archive event itself. But even then, it's still not as dark as what we saw on the Paris map. Another thing is the lighting that we get from the lamps. If you look at this, you can see that it's just kind of a circle. In the daytime version of the map, it doesn't matter because it all just kind of blends in. But on the nighttime version, it is very clearly not doing what it's supposed to do. If you look at the Dorado map, you can see the lamp is now shining onto the wall, it's shining on the ground, and there's a very natural look to it. So this right here is either incomplete, and they just haven't correctly changed up the lighting for the lamp, or the outside lighting is incorrect, in which case it could either be the bug, or it could be that they were changing it for a different version of the map, and they just accidentally had this carry over, and that's why it doesn't look good. There's a couple of different reasons why this could be. So here's what I'm thinking. There's a couple of different explanations for this. The first and simplest one is just that there's a bug with the lighting system, and everything is just appearing darker than it's supposed to on the outside of the map. In which case, it's not going to get pushed to live, and don't even worry about it. I'm not really super confident on that one. I don't think it's a bug. The other reason would be maybe they don't like the daytime version of the map, and they decided to make it more towards evening, nighttime kind of a map. And then they're just going to change a bunch of the lighting effects, and they make the outside a little bit darker, but the inside still stays bright, again, because of all the interior lighting and all that sort of stuff. And they're just not done with it yet, which is why the lamps and all that other stuff doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to be. Maybe they could be doing that. I'm not really super sure about that. I think that's something that they would have done before releasing the map, and the map has been out for a little while, so I don't think they would have done that. Another version is that maybe they're adding a nighttime in addition to the daytime version of the map, because one of the things that people have requested for quite a while is day and night versions of maps. But as the Overwatch devs have explained, it is significantly more complicated than simply moving a brightness slider around up and down, because there are so many other processes and resources that are being used for all of the lights, the shadows, everything, that it's far more complicated than just, moving that slider for the brightness. So it's possible this could be the first attempt that they're trying to make to include a day and a night version, but again, not really super sure on that one either. The other explanation is that they accidentally messed up the lighting on this version of the Paris map when they were working on the archive version of the Paris map. Because Kings Row had dual purpose, it's a regular map and it was in the event. Rialto, dual purpose, in the event and a regular map. So it's very likely that the next archive map is also going to be dual purpose. And I've been saying for a while that I think it's going to be the Paris map. I think it's going to have something to do with either the initial kidnapping or the rescuing of Widowmaker, as, it happened way back in the story. I really hope it would be the initial kidnapping, because then you'd get the perspective of the Talon agents, which I think would be a lot cooler than trying to use the Overwatch agents to go in and rescue. I just think the initial Talon mission would be way, way cooler. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about right now. What I'm thinking is that they were messing around with one of the versions of the archive Paris map, and for whatever reason, some of the settings on the regular version of the Paris map also got changed. Maybe they overlapped or whatever, maybe there was a bad copy, who knows what it could be. Maybe someone was just testing something and they forgot to reset it. I don't know. Any of the explanations that I've given are possible, but I kinda like this one the most. Call it wishful thinking if you want, but I would like to have that Talon mission going on. And in case you're wondering, I already made a prediction video for the Archive event that goes over not just the event itself, but all of the legendary skins, epics, and every other detail about the event, including what seems to be the confirmed start and end dates of the event as well. So if you want to check that out, there'll be a link for that on the top of the screen and down below. So what do you guys think? Is this Paris map, is this going to be a permanent change for just the regular map? Is it an accident? Or was it a leak for the upcoming Archive event? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.